Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from South Sondole. I was just on Instagram. I follow this gentleman named Titus Unlimited. He's like I don't know what you would really classify him as. Maybe a motivational speaker, maybe I don't know, a fitness guru somewhat, but he talks a lot about health and fitness and staying in shape and staying healthy and stuff like that. And he recently made a post. A lot of the people that are into health and fitness, like when you talk about Dr. Axe or you talk about what's his name? Dr. Berg, Motivational Doc. You talk about any one of them. Even Jillian Michaels now. Chuck Norris now. Chuck Norris is selling some pills online, and I don't really know what it's all about, but I think they're probably, I would assume that they might fall into the category of nutraceuticals, like nutrient, just basically food being used as nutrition. Nutrition as pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals. You know what I mean? People say nutraceuticals. I think that's what they're talking about when they say nutraceuticals. It's not something that necessarily, well, it is synthesized in some kind of lab, but it's pretty much plant-based extract or dried plants or something like that. Dehydrated plants and stuff like that. So the guy named Titus Unlimited, he doesn't really, I don't know what he sells. I don't think he really sells much of anything. What he maybe offers or sells, or whatever, if anything, is coaching, which a lot of people are selling coaching and stuff like that online. I don't think anything is necessarily wrong with that, because we live in a very solitary environment. That's why loneliness is so high. And even the people who we are in contact with, they may not be available to or whatever, to train us in, or assist us, or accompany us in our health journey or whatever project we're trying to work on. You know what I mean? Additionally, they're not going to necessarily help us on a professional basis. We know them, and the fact that you know somebody, it brings in a lot of other variables. So working with someone who is singularly focused on one task, singularly focused on just dealing with your health or training you in fitness, might help, because they're singularly focused on that, and that's what they talk to you about, and that's what they're in contact about. So it may be helpful just to get an advisor, a counselor, a specialist, or somebody that's just zeroing in on that. And so Titus Unlimited posted a question. He says, what disease has modern pharmaceutical companies cured in the last 40 years? And he basically says they haven't cured any, and please prove him wrong. And I said, hold on, I'm gonna prove this guy wrong, because modern medicine in the last 40 years probably cured a lot of stuff. Let me see. I said, Viagra. And then Titus responded to me and said, Viagra does not cure erectile dysfunction. It only, I forgot exactly what he said, but basically what he said was, it's a temporary solution, and it only masks, well, I'm gonna expound and say it only masks other health related issues. He didn't say that. He basically said, I'm paraphrasing, it's temporary, it's not a cure. And then another person in the comments jumped on me and said, it's not a cure. So I was like, wait a minute. They're right. It's not a cure. Actually, it only provides, you got to take it, and I think within like an hour, it produces rigidity. There's other drugs that I believe they provide rigidity within 15 minutes. Now, through the research, my own investigation, I'm not going to say research, through my own investigation of how that whole body system works, your pituitary got to be right. Your hypothalamus has to be right. Your brainstem got to be right. Your testosterone got to be right. Your heart has to be right. And your veins, the valves inside your veins have to be right to produce rigidity, right? And your mindset to produce rigidity. But that pill makes, dilates the veins. It probably does something with the pituitary also, because we know that Viagra is linked to vision loss due to inflamed pituitary gland. So it's doing everything for you, forcing it through. It's forcing through these systems and making them work. And you still have whatever condition. You still have poor circulation in your veins. Your heart is still not necessarily as healthy as it could be. Your testosterone is not where is not at the best levels. Your prolactin might not even be in the best levels. Your pituitary gland might not be working correctly. Your dopamine levels might not be working correctly. Even your mindset in the frontal lobe or the frontal area or whatever, cortex, might not be working correctly because of emotional or social issues. So you combine all those things go back to the state that they were in. I mean, matter of fact, they're not cured. Those things are still in a bad state. Those areas of the body are still in a bad state. Still not in, I guess, homeostasis. Still not in a balanced state to where you can produce it off your own will, own volition, off of stimulus in a normal stimulus kind of way. So he was right, and the other commenter was right. It doesn't cure anything. What a lot of people are saying now, I've noticed, or to my notice, that I've noticed, a lot of these health gurus, what they're saying is that what the intention should be, or what the strategy should be, is assist the body in healing itself. Giving the body what it needs to heal itself, because it can heal itself, right? even the guy, Dr. William Lee, that was on Diary of a CEO recently, was saying you got to give the body what it needs to heal itself. Yaki Awaken has been saying, give the body what it needs to heal itself. Diary of the CEO would never have Yaki Awaken on, and I don't want to even get too political. But anyhow, whatever. If he does, well, then I'll have to eat those words. So, a lot of people are saying that now. I think even Dr. Shiva says, you got to give the body what it needs to heal itself. So, just about, even Dr. Lee, okay, even Dr. Lee will tell you the same thing. Motivational Doc will tell you the same thing. Dr. Axe will tell you the same thing. Dr. Berg will tell you the same thing. Dr. Shiva will tell you the same thing. Yaki Awaken will tell you the same thing. You got to manage stress. Get your sleep. Stay away from refined sugars. Get sunlight. Do strength training. Do some aerobics. Well, they don't necessarily say aerobics. I haven't heard anybody explicitly say aerobics, but I heard them say do strength training. So your heart rate goes up anyway, even when you're doing strength training. So you ain't got to be running around. If you lift some weights and stuff, your heart is going to stop pumping anyway. But they're basically all in agreement regarding how to aid your body to help itself. And then, all these different people, they might tell you, take some, I would call nutraceuticals like cinnamon, ginger, garlic, turmeric in moderation. You can't have too much. I got an episode called Big C Risk Reduction. Big C Risk Reduction, where I talk about how many grams of turmeric you can have in a day. And the other day, I made another post about CRISPR technology, gene modification technology called CRISPR, right? And a wise person reminded me, yes, turmeric is one of the things that's good for killing E. coli, streptococcus, and staphylococcus bacteria, but it has to be used in moderation because it can cause liver damage, right? So, but going back to what I was saying, Dr. Berg, Dr. Josh Axe, Motivational Doc, Dr. Shiva, Yaki Awaken, Dr. William Lee, almost everybody on Diary of the CEO, almost everybody on Joe Rogan, who is talking about health, most of the gurus online, they're gonna tell you got to get your sleep because it flushes your brain. Dr. What's his name, man? He's one of my favorites, man. I can't remember his name. He got a funny name. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? He's one of the guys that really, made me start thinking about mental health and what's going on in the environment and what's going on the news and all that stuff and how it affects your stress levels and all of that. I forgot what his name is. He's got a weird name. All of these guys got weird names like Axe and Berg and something like that. What is his name? Oh my gosh. He's one of the best. Dr. Amen. Dr. Amen will tell you the same thing. Yeah, you can just listen to Dr. Amen and you'll be good. Dr. Amen is another one. Talking about Alzheimer's and dementia and all these other things. So, in order to age your body, they're going to tell you the same thing. In order to age your body to heal itself, they're going to tell you the same thing, You got to get sleep. You got to stay off the alcohol. Dr. Amen is big alcohol. You got to stay off of the drugs, the stimulants, the downers, the uppers, the marijuana. You know, I mean, one or two of them might tell you that nicotine isn't so bad, or maybe one or two of them. But smoking it is definitely bad for you. Smoking overall is not good for your respiratory system. Smoking is not good for your circulatory system. So, nicotine also is a toxin, and nicotine can, take you out of the world. But properly administered, it can potentially, some people believe, treat dementia. Some people believe treat COVID-19. Some people believe help your circulatory system in some kind of way. Anyhow, I don't think I've looked much into that, so I don't really have much to say about it. But going back to Titus Unlimited's, his name is Titus Unlimited on Instagram. Going back to Titus Unlimited's question about what medicine has come out in the last 40 years that's cured anything. Now, I think what he's basically trying to say is the same thing. The pharmaceuticals suppress symptoms similar to Viagra. Viagra is just making it appear like your system is working, when in actuality, it's just a temporary fix. I was listening to another podcast recently. A gentleman who was on a GLP-1 drug said, listen, if you don't exercise and don't do anything, you take GLP-1 drugs, you may lose 12 pounds. But after that, if you don't exercise, it won't help you any further in your weight loss journey. And it's trying to help your body, but now we realize that in early on when these GLP-1 drugs started getting popularity, I published an episode on one of the most popular ones, which is I forgot what it's called. My brain isn't working too good, huh? So what is it called? Let me see. Just hang on for a second. Let me see if I can remember what it's called. It's not Manjaro. No, that's not the most popular one. The most popular one is South Park made a whole movie about it. It's called, oh my gosh. I don't remember what it's called. Manjaro and Rybelsus are my two favorite to think about. Rybelsus is more of an oral application. Manjaro, I believe, is an injection. And the one that's most popular is also like a weekly injection. Anyhow, the body is good at regulating. The next thing that Dr. Lee was saying, Dr. Lee that was on Diary of a CEO, Dr. William Lee, his last name is spelled L-I. What he was saying is that, cancer cells are mutations. Every day we have something like, I forgot how much he said, I think 2,000 cells that are made that have errors in them, but the body identifies them and removes them. So what we have to do is aid the body in the identification and the removal of these anomalies, of these defective cells. And what he was saying is that his mother, he lost 2 uncles to cancer, and he felt helpless. Even though he was a doctor, he couldn't help them. But then his mother got cancer, and instead of her doing chemotherapy, what they did was they gave her immunotherapy. They boosted her immune system, or gave her some immune support, and she was able to be cancer-free. This is his story, you know, probably within 2 months after her diagnosis, right? So they supported her immune system. They supported the immune system. They allowed the body to do its own thing. I was just talking to a gentleman yesterday. His son had a little had a psychological issue. I would more call it a social. I would say it's a social issue that turned into a chemical issue. Like, fortunately, he wasn't using any substances, thank God. But he wasn't self-medicating with substances. But he started developing repetitive mannerisms. You know, having, I think that's what they call manic. But he started having repetitive episodes, like washing his hands all the time. And he's on a drug. I forgot what the gentleman told me exactly what the name of the drug was. I've never heard of it. But the doctors started the young man on about 2 milligrams, a 2 milligram prescription of whatever that, it's probably a SSRI of some kind, which I don't even know what SSRI stands for. But they started with 2 milligrams, and then probably about a year later, now he's only on 0.5 milligrams. So he's on 25%. And they started him actually on one of the lowest dosages, according to what I'm being told, at 2 milligrams. And then they scaled it down to 0.5 milligrams, right? While he was talking to his psychiatrist, I think psychiatrist is the one that talked to you, right? No, the psychologist talks to you and the psychiatrist prescribes the drugs. So he has a psychiatrist and he has a psychologist. Whichever one gives him the medication, has lowered his dosage. Almost hit those two guys. So it shows that the therapy is working. They believe that the therapy is working. So they've reduced the amount of supportive medicine that he's been prescribed in order to allow his body to self-regulate, allow him to self-regulate. Oh, I didn't have to park up here today. All right, I'm gonna park up here just for today, and then I'll see what I can do tomorrow, because I'm not gonna take my car out now that I'm in here. So they supported him in his mental health journey, and now that he's more or closer to being back on his feet, they can take away the support. It's like walking with crutches and your bones are healing, you know? Yeah, maybe a little bit you'll still walk with the crutch just once in a while, just to build up your confidence after the bone has healed, and then eventually you won't need the crutches anymore. So modern medicine is wonderful in doing that. But while we're taking the Manjaros or the Rybelsises or the Viagras or the Cialises or any of these, anything, ultimate goal should be to reach a point where you don't need it anymore. Or you maybe only need it, sporadically. Ultimately not needed anymore. The support, you just need the support so you can eventually become independent of the medication. So modern medicine is good because if you're in an emergency situation, it can pull you out from the brink. It can pull you from the brink, but let's say, for example, somebody is not breathing on their own and you give them chest compression to get them breathing. Now that they're breathing, you probably want to stop the chest compression. They need to go on with their lives, right? They need to go on with that. Now they're breathing, okay? So the medication, modern medicine, is like providing chest compressions. I think I'm almost on time today, so let me be on time. Oh, I got 10 minutes. No, I don't. My phone is upside down because I wanted the mic up, so it's 8:05. I'm gonna still get here late. Anyhow, yeah. So that's what it is. We want to support and do whatever is necessary to make ourselves independent of the medication. And I think that's what Titus basically taught me today. Hey, thanks for listening.